Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD, and I'm going to go to that 30-minute chart. Again, it tells a story I like to read. We closed at 165.20. Seems like we were having, our support was at the 165.98. We have broken through that area. It is now our resistance, only to come down here and find support at a level of 165.37. We kind of knew that from this candle here, right? So it was trading in this zone, or is trading in this zone. At support is around, again, 165.37. Resistance 165.98. Breaking that level of 165.98, we could possibly have trouble again. 166.44. Breaking that level, 166.79. 167.14, breaking that 167.66, and should we break that for AMD today, the next level is here at 168.61. Breaking the 168.61, 168.97 could be a rejection area. Kind of brings us back to this candle here, right? So if you're trading AMD today to the upside, those are possible areas of rejection. Now, back to the downside, if we lose this area of 165.37, we could very well come back to 164.83. Breaking that, y'all see the ATR trail and stop not far away around the 164.71, breaking that level 164.55. There's a few layers of support here for AMD, so should we break that, we could very well come back to the 164.32, not very far away. Breaking those levels, again, it's few layers of support. Breaking those levels brings us back to around the 163.69, and should we break that, 163.13 could be a support area. Breaking that 163.13 today for AMD, the next level is around the 162.72, which brings us back to this zone here. So if AMD is something that you trade today, I said often, y'all, mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? So we're now looking at Meta. We close at 747.72. It seems as if we're finding support at this ATR trail and stop not far from a level that we have marked at the 742.29. I really like to see that. Now, back to the upside, if we should break back above 744.72, we could possibly have trouble 746.30, breaking that 748.25, and should we break that around the 751.47, breaking that, we're going to use the 200 EMA as of now around the 758.05 area. Breaking that brings us back to the 761.69, 762.84, 764.27, 765.03. Those are possible areas of rejection or resistance for Meta today. Now, to the downside, it looks as if, again, we tried to come up in this 5 EMA was our resistance, only to bring us back to the support area here. So breaking that 741.66 area, let's see the low of this candle here, was around 741.31. Should we break this low here, we could possibly come back to around the 740.07 and breaking that 738.18, 735.43, again at 734.34, 733.62, 732.33, and 731.07. Breaking that 731.07 brings us back to the 729.14, or this, around this area here, 731, yeah, 729. Let me make sure I have that right. Yes, 729, so, or 730, let's say that. So if you're trading Meta today, I would say trade carefully, y'all, because in this market, I say it often, in this market, anything is possible. So I'm going to go back to that 732.33, 731.07, 729.14, which is in this area here. I was correct. So again, I said often, y'all, mark your levels, mark the areas, and make sure you have a plan before going into the trade. So let's go see where NVDA is today. we closed at 175.40, and yes, it seems like NVIDIA is trading right at support where we have marked here at the 174.52. If we're looking on a smaller scale, resistance 174.68, that will be the area that we were in, right? So breaking this 174.68, we could possibly have trouble again. 174.92, 175.22, 175.47, breaking that 175.88, and should we break that around, let's say the 176.16, and breaking that level, we can use this 176.60, and y'all see the ATR trail and stop that's here forming right at a level we have marked at the 176.89. I like to see that. So that 176 or 177 area here could be a strong area of resistance, in my opinion, right? So breaking this area, 174.52 for NVIDIA today, 174.18 could be a support area. 174, breaking that brings us back to the 173.49. Should we break that? 173.14. Breaking that 173.14, we could possibly find support. 172.84, 172.57, because that brings us breaking a zone that we were in here back to that 172.57, breaking that 172.35. So if NVIDIA is something that you trade today, y'all, I say it often, trade carefully, mark your levels again and again, and make sure that you have a plan before entering the trade. Now, we are now looking at the SPY. We close at 638.11. We have a pre-market low as of now around that 635. We're finding support at an area that we had marked here, 635.40. Let's look back to the upside, breaking that. We will need to break above the 635.89. Breaking that level, we could possibly have trouble again, 636. 634, breaking that. There's a few layers at the 307.08 all the way to the 303, 637. Did I say 307? Let's rephrase that, right? 637.08 back to the 637.66. There we are, breaking that level. We've broken through a few layers of resistance, so we could possibly have trouble again. 638.02, and breaking that 638.30 could possibly be a rejection area, which is where our ATR trail and stop is forming. Now, can we break that for the SPY? Absolutely. Breaking that back to the upside, 638.39 area, we could possibly have trouble. 638.72, 639.08, and 639.64. Those are possible areas of rejection. Now back to the downside. Let's say we lose this area of support here, right here at the 635.40, we could very well come back to 634.85, 634.36, 633.63, here at 633.37, 632.93, breaking that brings us back to 632.19 for the SPY. So again, if that is something that you trade today, I have said it so often, y'all, trade carefully. We do have a few inside day candles today, CVX being one of those, meaning if we should break above the 153.49 area, upside target today for CVX is around the 153.95. Now to the downside, under 151.89, we have a downside target today for CVX at 151.81, and let's go see how much it normally moves, about $2.65 per day. That is the ATR, which is the average true range for CVX. So again, I say trade carefully. Let's see, we had another inside day candle today. I think it's Netflix. It is Netflix close 12/13/86. Let's say we break above the 12/23/40. We have an upside target today for Netflix at 12/41/04. Now to the downside, under 1193.36. Downside target today for Netflix is 1191.73. Now let's see how much Netflix normally moves, about $28.46 per day. Again, that could be in either direction. So if Netflix is something that you trade, it is an inside day candle. I say trade carefully, right? So Let's look at Tesla. And I do apologize again, and I've said it so many times that my Tesla trades are very congested only because I've been charting it for a while and I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are if I'm in the trade, right? So we closed at 323.90, and it seems as if we're bouncing off of this ATR trail and stop, which is kind of close to a level that I have marked at 321.40. Now let's look back to the upside. We will need to get back above 321.91. We could possibly have trouble 322.37, 322.60, 322.84, not very far away. What will be interesting is if we get back above the 323.36 area. Why? Because it was a strong support area for us. It is now our strong resistance area. So breaking above the 323.36, keep in mind 323.74, there's a few layers there. So it really needs to get back above the 323.74. It tells me that we've broken through a few layers of resistance. We could possibly continue, right? So breaking that level, 324.15, breaking that level, let's see, 324.52, 324.80, and breaking that 325.15, 325.36, 325.66, and breaking that 326.12. Those are possible areas of resistance for Tesla. Now, I say it often, y'all, Tesla does what Tesla does, right? So losing this area of 321.47, we could very well come back to 321.21, 320.99, 320.64. There's a few layers here at this 320.64 area. Let's see, I do that often, right? So let's see here, 321.21. Let's go back. 320.99. Again here at 320.64. There we are. There's a few layers of support here down to the 320.09. Breaking that 319.79. Again here for Tesla 319.62. 319.33, and breaking that brings us back to around the 318.90, 318.69. And breaking the 318.69, 318.26, 318.03. That was an area, that 318 area, that I needed to watch Tesla at yesterday because it was a support area for us here. Now breaking that 318 area, the next level is 317.61. As you can see, something stopped us kind of close in this area. Breaking that brings us back to, let's say, this area here around 316.16. That was another area that I needed to watch for Tesla. 316.16, breaking that level, that 315.35 or 315.43 area, in my opinion, is a strong area of support. And should we break that, we could very well come back to this 314.60 area. So if Tesla is something that you trade today, y'all, I say it so often, trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your why, your reason for getting in the trade, get out. So this is what I see when I look at the market, and I say it, y'all, there's so many different ways to make money in this market, and what's challenging at times is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you and for you to have the discipline to execute your plan. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. Again, if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.